Suspicious, but brilliant! I don't believe it! I swear I do not believe it! And they are back on terms!
Hello, welcome to New York Talk, our first live episode of the season. We are doing this live through YouTube, so if you are watching on live, feel free to get in contact with us, just comment and we'll go through anything else. Otherwise, this will be just a normal episode, as normal is. We have the same as, we've got an unchanged lineup. We have Mick with us, as always.
Hello.
Danny Ogden-Glaves with us.
Hello.
And Will Daniels from the Tivoli View joins us again as well. Thank you for joining us.
Yo, yo, yo. Hello. Good to be back.
Fantastic. So, usual stuff we'll start with. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, thumbs up. I said feel free to comment. If you're on iTunes, give us a subscribe, and we would appreciate that as well. I'm going to start with non-Saturday action first. We're going to give a mention to Carrie Arneson, who is retiring from professional football at the end of the season. And anybody's interested in that, there is potentially on course to win the title in Iceland in his last game, which would be an incredible way to end your career. So best wishes. That is their season finishes next weekend. They are top of the league. So best wishes to him from all of us here, and I imagine all Rotherham fans as well. So
absolutely, they won 2-1 today, haven't they?
Yes,
they won 2-1. So I did notice.
Go on. I was going to say we do a ranking in the Icelandic Apple podcast. We are ranking, so it could very well. Carrie could actually be listening to this, so you never know.
Yeah, I did notice that the referee for today's game, in which one of the opposition got sent off, was a T. Arneson. So I don't know whether that's got anything to do with it at all. I wouldn't say it has, but you never know, do you?
Yes. So we have a win, and I'll tell you what, these episodes are so much better when we have a win to talk about. Compare this to last week's episode, it's going to be such a more positive place to be. A really, really good 2-0 win, and for me, a statement of intent. Bolton are a good team. We'll talk about Bolton's performance yesterday, but you could tell that they're a decent team, and it wouldn't surprise me if they're thereabouts at the end of the season as well. But Danny, Ian Everett says that Bolton could have had 4 or 5, but for me, it was so comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, he says could have had 4 or 5. They only had 4 shots on target. Granted, they did overwhelm us a little bit with overall shots, but like you say, it were weirdly comfortable. Like as soon as Ben Wiles got his second, it were like we could win this. And then they only really had 2 attempts where I was a bit worried, and it was one where they hit the post in the first half, and then the acrobatic one second half that could have gone anywhere. Sorry, someone that appears to have just fainted and hit a shovel outside my house. I don't know if you heard the bang, but I hope they're all right. But like I said, very convincing game. Even though the stats aren't really in our favour, the game itself was, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way of putting it. Well, it was the stat. It's one of those games that if you were just nobody, if you didn't watch the highlights, you would think that Bolton battered us and that we got a little bit lucky with a couple of decent goals. It really, really wasn't that the case.
I'm not completely convinced on that. I disagree. I think Bolton were good value for something out of the game. I just thought that we took our chances and they unfortunately didn't for them, which is the way that it goes. The stats don't always tell you everything, as you just said, but Bolton had 70% possession yesterday and also had made 557 passes compared to our 230 odd, which shows that they were the side that were in the ascendancy. What I would say is, we hit them on the counter a couple of times, and our 2 goals came from set pieces, which I'm sure we'll touch on along the way. Overall, great performance. Bolton will be up there, but we definitely will be if we can beat sides like that as well.
They always thought, Mick, they've got something about them. I've already mentioned the way they attack is quite exciting. It was an exciting game. It was a good game to watch. Mac mentioned it was a lot like the Lincoln game. It was just a good game. But I always felt if they got 1 goal, we would have been in bother, potentially been in bother. but we looked all right. Defensively, let's talk about some performances. Defensively, we defended extremely well.
Yeah, we did. We did, particularly in that second half. A good substitution, bring Chio off and bring Wes Harding on. That really showed up that back line. And to be fair, yeah, they created a couple of opportunities, but did they really trouble us? Did they really actually trouble us? For me, I don't think they really did look like getting anything out of the game, to be honest. At any stage, yeah, okay, like I said, they had a couple of openings, but you're going to get that, and any team is going to create openings throughout a game. Most of the time. So, yeah, they're a decent side and they play ball around well. But
I can see why they've had some high-scoring games this season. You can see why they've had a few 3-3s. They are fallible at back, but they do look decent going forward. Yeah,
they do. They do, absolutely, they do. But yeah, for me, 2-0 we were comfortable, and yeah, I don't think we ever looked like losing. Frankly, in my view.
Yeah, the two standout chances are the one where Doyle's post, and like Danny says, the sort of attempted bicycle kick at the end, towards the end, where he ended up injuring himself. Yeah,
for a player of Owen Doyle's experience, I think that was a really poor miss. Yeah, the ball came through and he literally panicked. He just hit it with it almost. If we could have had a front on view, I bet he had his eyes shut. You know what I mean? It was that kind of. Well, it wasn't it. He just snatched at it and panicked, and I think he was lucky to hit post, to be honest with you. So it wasn't the cool, composed finish that you would expect from a player of his quality and experience, for me. But
yeah,
you could say that about Smith's second half as well. And he hit the post as well. I swear that far post to Bolton must be square or something. Because the way Smith hits it and it comes off the post, it's like, how has it not gone in? Same with Doyle to a point as well. It's hit the post and it's come flying out upfield. Whereas Smith's just gone across goal. It's like, it must be square, at least triangular or something.
Yeah. Let's talk about the headline maker from Saturday afternoon. Ben Wiles with 2 goals, having been taken out on Tuesday night. Brought back in. He's been asked to play a bit further forward. That's another benefit with Barley, is that Wiles is asked to play a bit further forward. As he said in his post-match, Paul Warne asked him to take the shot early. And he had a chance before he actually scored the first goal. He should have done better 2 minutes earlier, shouldn't he?
Yeah, I mean, if anything, his miss was actually easier than the first goal he scored. But no, credit to Wiles. He has taken his first goal really well. And I think the first miss sort of like, gave him the confidence of, all right, let's try again. And then he had his eye in, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's his first brace for Rotherham throughout his many years with us in professional football. And yeah, I'm actually really happy for him. I really am. As a lad who's only just older than me, to be competing at that level of football, scoring that big of a quality goal for us, and to make it look effortless as well. The way he's just danced around their defender and smacked it, and it's gone in top corner. Fair play to him. And like you say, Barley's coming into the squad. It allows him to play further forward, which I think suits Wiles more than being a bit more pushed back a little bit in midfield. So yeah, I really do hope he kicks on this season, and it could be his highest scoring season for us. If not, it already is.
Yeah, it might be, actually, to be fair. A lot of questions are always asked to Wiles, Will. Is because he feels like he's been here forever. People expect that he is already a seasoned professional, and having third year professional, I suppose some of those questions are valid. But sometimes he just needs taken away from the spotlight, like he did on Tuesday, and bring him back in, and it clearly done the world of good for him.
I think, to start off with, bravo to Wilesy. Like, he's one of our own. He's come through the system, and I was tipped off by a good friend, Josh Smith, and I was watching tonight on how good Wilesy was, and certainly proved it on Saturday. Definitely his best game for me in a Rotherham shirt, and that's not just because he scored twice, but I think it's probably because he played in his best position, which for me is he's behind the strikers as a 10. Thought he caused Bolton no end of problems, and he'll be a little bit disappointed, I think, that he didn't take a match ball home. I think for some fans, he's been a little bit of a scapegoat within this season when things haven't been going right. So I think it's quite nice to see him, getting the praise that he deserves because, on his day, he is the best technical player at this club. And if he continues to perform like that until the end of the season, he'll be very, very difficult to keep hold of, just like he was in the summer, to be fair.
Yeah. We've always been big fans of him, Mick. And he's needed to add them goals to his game, but it's difficult to add those goals to your game when we're asking him to play a different position. We've asked him to play much deeper. Yeah. And when he plays these more advanced roles, like Wilson's, for me, that's his best performance in a Rotherham shirt, without question. But we know why. It's like I said, because he's playing further forward. He's playing his right position.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is his rightful place. And hopefully the way that midfield is performing at the moment, he'll get a lot more opportunities to play in that position. These last 7 days have been a bit of a whirlwind for Ben Wiles, hasn't it? It's like boom and bust, all or nothing. It's highlighted that sort of attitude that some supporters have got now about football. 1 week, 1 minute, you're absolute garbage and shouldn't be pulling on a Rotherham United shirt or a Chelsea shirt or a Man U shirt or whatever it is. And then, you actually then play to your ability and all of a sudden your best thing since sliced bread. It's bizarre. It really is. And it's just one of them things, I suppose that's how football's gone now, isn't it? But he's just shown everybody what he is capable of. Like they needed to be shown. Great game, great performance from Ben Wiles yesterday. Fantastic footballer. And we're very, very lucky to have him.
Yeah. The second goal comes from a set piece and apparently a pre-rehearsed set piece, Danny. When he talked to his post-match about Matt Hamshaw studying Bolton's and seeing a weakness. And there we go. It's 2-0 and I don't think he connected with the header as well as he wanted to. But it doesn't matter where they're going, does it?
No, I imagine Hamshaw's got like one of them big whiteboards up in the office. He's got like different players' pins up and red string and everything. But yeah, like you say, they apparently exploited a weakness in Bolton's defence from set pieces that they've evaluated, and looks like they've worked on it in training this week, and it's paid off really well. Like I say, I don't think it was the cleanest header from Wales. I mean, he actually headed it into the floor, but he had enough pace on it where it's bounced off the floor and gone straight up into the roof of the net. So it's a really good team goal to say they've worked on it and it has paid off in a game. You just love to see that, really, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. Russ Vernon's got in touch on the comments. He didn't see the game yesterday, but on the highlights, Wiles, he looked man of the match to him. Would we agree with that? This brings on to another player, Will. Wiles, he was outstanding. Let's take nothing away from him. But I'm pretty sure Ollie Rathbone is still running now.
He's running away from Bolton, hasn't he? Just open gates and let him run.
I've spent all day trying to get information on how far Ollie Rathbone ran yesterday, and unfortunately, it's not in the public view. What I will say is, if there is a player within the EFL that ran further than Ollie Rathbone yesterday, kudos to you, because Ollie did not stop all game. I actually took a quick look at his heat map before we came on air, and he has literally covered every inch of grass that he possibly could do yesterday. But, that's what we've come to expect from Ollie Rathbone, and we've seen it from pretty much minute one of him coming through the door. 68% of his defensive duels won yesterday. Really good going forward as well. And we talk about Wilesy and sing the song, he never gives the ball away. Rathbone only gave the ball away twice yesterday in 100 minutes. So great performance again. And we sort of come to expect it now from him, which is probably not fair on him. But yeah, a Rolls Royce for a footballer.
Yeah, I don't know what more to say, but he runs. That's what we want him to run. He moves the ball forward. You could say he needs to have goals, he needs to do this, that, and other. But what he does is what we need. If he didn't do the running, we would need somebody else to do it for him. What he does is so important to the team, and that's what at times we've missed in previous years.
Yeah, I mean, he's like Jamie Lindsay on speed, isn't he? Well, he is, isn't he? You know what I mean? He breaks the play up as well as Jamie Lindsay does. And yet he covers twice as much ground as Jamie Lindsay does. And Jamie Lindsay is no slouch. I mean, it would be great. I mean, if he added goals to his games as well, we're going to be in money, aren't we? And come end of the season, particularly if we don't get promoted. He's a hell of a player. You can obviously see how he came through Man United's system without a shadow of a doubt. Although I don't think he'd fit into a Premier League side because they don't play that style of football, do they? But what a player and what a game he had yesterday! Unbelievable. Just he gets man of the match for me just on work rate alone. You know, if he'd spent all 90 minutes and never touched ball, just on work rate alone, he gets man of the match. You know.
Yeah, I love when players like that. David Jones on the comments. It's a Bolton fan. Hello. I don't know how we lost the game yesterday, but congratulations to us. We did well. It was just one of the games. The chances that we had was almost a half chance, but we've took it and we've limited Bolton to a lot of chances. And would you say that's our strength, Danny? The defensive solidity is just that's our number one strength, or is there another part of the team you think which is stronger than that?
I think on our day we do have the ability just to nullify other teams' attacks. Like, I think the only blip really this season is Fleetwood, where we were very, very poor defensively. And like with Lincoln, the only reason they scored because there was a foul in the build-up, but we've mentioned that in the last episode. But yeah, we sort of nullified Bolton's ability to score goals effectively. And Bolton are one of them teams where if they go behind, they then pull it back round and win. I think they've won 8 points from losing positions this season. And to say we went ahead first, which is something I was a bit wary of, to be honest, because it's like I said, Bolton have that ability. But to say we went ahead and then went another goal up only 3 minutes later, and then sort of just let them do the work, and we just sort of like made sure we countered it. I think that is one of our traits this season, but also having the mindset to go forward and score goals, even if you've got limited chances. Granted, yes, that could be improved on this season. But if we're doing it this well so far, and we've got the highest number of shots in the league so far, I think it's about 130 or something like that. If you've had 130 shots in 8 games, someone is due a pasting. Like, no disrespect to whoever gets it, but someone is due a pasting, you know. But yeah, I'd say our defensive solidity has been a trait this season.
Yeah, let's get on to some more individual performances because we're not going to get into preview Tuesday. We can go a bit more in depth on some of the performances coming.
Just one of the things I would say to David Jones there, the Bolton fan, is that we played a full championship season doing exactly what Bolton did yesterday. You know, dominating play at times, creating chances, and just not taking them. You know, if you look at that Bolton performance, it was very similar to a lot of our performances last season in the championship. So, yeah, I don't know what the point is. I don't know. I've got a point. You know what I mean? It just reminded me a lot of us last year.
Yeah, fair enough. That's a fair point.
It's not a point, is it?
It's a sentence, isn't it?
Yeah, a sentence. That'll do. Yeah.
I just hope it's not a clip.
Yeah.
I think just on Bolton, to be fair, there'll be a lot of games where Bolton play worse than what they did yesterday and come away with 3 points.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be too worried from a Bolton perspective on their performance. Yeah, I mean,
would you say they're the best team we've played? I know it was a short sample size, but would you say they're the best team we've faced so far?
Comfortably, I think they caused us quite a lot of issues. Similar in terms of style to Lincoln, I would say, but they seem to penetrate us a little bit more. You know, and they've got some incredible players that'll go on above and beyond League One. Afolayan, I thought, was a little bit of a live wire yesterday. They've got great quality players, and yeah, they'll come back and they'll be top 6, I would imagine, by the end of that 46th game.
Yeah, as I said, so they're one of those clubs that you can see strengthen in January. They'll be playoff area January, and then they'll just strengthen. They seem to have that clout's not the right word, but they seem to be well set. Rather than throwing money around. The defensive 3 took a little bit of a late blow, with Icky only finding out we had to have him on the morning of the game. But you wouldn't have believed it because Matip were very, very good. Woody was just Richard Wood. And Reg had his moments, but for the most part was very, very good.
I mean, to be honest, when the team came out at 2:00, I didn't actually know, what the starting lineup was going to look like, and I was a little bit surprised with the back three that we picked. Having said that, Warney and his team had a reason to pick it, and were very, very quick to criticise them when they get it wrong, but they got it absolutely bob on yesterday, even down to, taking on Ben off at half time and fetching on Harding to make us a little bit more defensively assured in that second half. And yeah, that back three were exceptional, used all their experience to negate the threats of Bolton. Even saw Woody down left wing on a couple of occasions, which was an interesting one. And for me, it was a different sort of performance for a Rotherham United side because, as you mentioned, it was very comfortable that second half, which shows our game management is really coming along as well, which is really pleasing to see. But yeah, that back three were fantastic.
I might have been a bit harsh, Mick, but I thought Reg once or twice went and attacked the ball a little bit too much. But that is me being sort of hypercritical. We were 2-0 up and the game was sort of comfortable. He had cover around him. But he's been very impressive. Other than the Accrington game in the League Cup, where I thought he struggled a lot with their physicality, he's been very, very good since then. And it looks like a really good loan signing.
It does, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, the Accrington game, you looked at him and thought, maybe he's a little bit too inexperienced at the moment to be playing at this level. But no, definitely not. Definitely not. He's staking a claim for a regular place, isn't he? And he's going to give Paul Warne yet another headache. This time a defensive one. You've got Icky, you've got Angus MacDonald coming back, Woody, Wes Harding. He's got an embarrassment of riches in there. All of whom can do a job and do a job well. So yeah, been really impressed with Reg. Really impressed.
Yeah, and Matic, Danny, Joe Matic, second consecutive game as the left-hand side of the three. And I think we talked in the pre-match. For me, I didn't realise Matic could really play that position on a regular basis. I thought it was an out-and-out fullback and could fill in when we only had a player to play in that position. But superb, Matic. He's not putting any. He's getting booked every game. Obviously, that's what he does. But other than that, he's doing really, really well. Danny, you're on mute.
Sorry. Sorry about that. It's I should be used to that after last year, shouldn't I? Anyway, but hey, Ben's here. But yeah, with Matic, he's been wanting that left-sided centre-back role for at least a couple of years, and now he's got it. He's proper put his cap on it. And like you say, he does get booked, but he's a bit of an hard nut, so leave him to that. But yeah, he has really put himself about in that position, and he has done really well. And just to comment on Reg, I agree, he did have his moments on Saturday, but at the same time, he also had moments of real quality where he's closed down players, he's cleared the ball really well, and he has probably presented a goal-scoring chance as well.
Yeah. Ben's with us. Anybody that's not listening audio, Ben has just joined us. Obviously, if there's background noise, that's Ben making it, obviously. I don't think he'll be here for the full episode, Ben, but it's nice for you to pop in.
I'm only here for 10 minutes. I've got to eat. So yeah.
Okay, fantastic. We've to ask you about Ben Wiles. We all talked about Ben Wiles, but it was superb yesterday.
It's crap, isn't it, that Ben Wiles? Yeah, we're good. Should have got a hat-trick. But
you never have me.
No, I'm just saying. But yeah, he played well. Yeah, he did everything that he's always done. But he just got showed more somehow. He's always been a very good player, and for me, he just played normally yesterday. But I think because of not how bad he's been playing, but he hasn't been up to scratch. So I think yesterday he kind of got back to his form, but it just looked like he played amazing because of how bad he's been playing. Well, you know what I mean? I don't want to sound, that sounds really harsh, but you know what I mean?
I think I get your point.
Yeah, he's a good player. Is what I'm saying.
Okay. Yes, I love how you say things, but there is a dig in what you say. I don't think you meant it. I don't think you meant it already, but you definitely had a dig at him there. But anyway, moving on.
And the next
Bowler.
comment is from Ben Wiles.
Second start in a row for Bowler, Will. And again, it's looking like a cracking signing. Didn't do much wrong and just gives us what we need in that area.
I mean, I mentioned it in the preview. I think it's really important when you're going away from home that you've got a wing back that's able to get forward, but more importantly, he's great defensively, and he proved that time in, time out on Saturday. Defensively, really solid. He won 78% of his defensive duels, so you can't really ask much more of him, to be honest. Pretty decent going forward without creating a great deal, but that's an area of the game that he can improve on. Slightly different position, but I see a lot of similarities in him to Josh Emmanuel that we had. And if he can come along just like Josh did, what a play we'll have on our hands, and more importantly, he'll be ours as well. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, it's a 3-year contract, and it's one of those, Mick, where you sometimes when we've got Rathbone, for example, you look at the Rochdale fans and you look at what they said about him, and that's right. That's turned out to be spot on. Yeah. What they said about Bowler is turning out to be not quite spot on, because a lot of Rochdale fans are giving a lot of stick, a lot of issues to his game, and he clearly not the finished article. Let's not say he's best left wing back in division, but there's a lot there to like.
Yeah, there is, absolutely, and we've said it a couple of times, haven't we? We don't buy finished articles from Arsenal. He's got a lot of work to be done. There's no doubt about it. But all the building blocks are there, and if anybody's going to put all those blocks in right order, Warney and his team will do that. I've absolutely no doubt about it. I'm really excited by him. I genuinely am. I think he has got some serious potential, that lad. Some proper potential. So I can't. I mean, the signings that we've brought in this transfer window, and the transfer window that just closed, they're just immense for me. There isn't a single one of them that you think, well, they might get in a couple of years. We'll keep them ticking over for a year or so, send them out on loan, etc. We ain't got any of that. We've just got quality, all of them. So yeah, I like Bowler. I like him a lot, and he's going to be a damn good player for us, I reckon.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier, Ben, but let's talk about substitutions. Paul Warne has in the past got some stick. Paul and his team have got some stick for substitutions, and at times, for me, rightly so, there's been some in the past very questionable substitutions. But to bring Chio off at halftime, Chio didn't have a bad game, but to bring Chio off at halftime and put Wes Hard in there, it just, not that he needed settling down, but it just settled everything down. And then the 2 further substitutions, they just fitted the game well. And it seemed, with hindsight, Ben, I know you like hindsight, they turned out to be fantastic substitutions, all of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I hate hindsight. Hindsight, whatever it's called. Hindsight. Right.
I'll ask if you drunk, mate, but I know you don't drink.
I've had a long day. And I apologize if my voice is a bit whatever.
Did you get smashed at American football? Is that what happened? So we cleaned you out?
No. We won. So, there was a lot of screaming because, whatever.
Anyway, go on.
Whatever. Yeah, anyway. Well, what was the question? Oh, they were good substitutes. But you know what it is here? Like everyone gets criticised. Like, I seen Guardiola got some stick the other day as well, and he's the best manager in the world. So I feel like no matter what a manager does, he's going to get stick. But there were quote unquote good substitutions yesterday. But yeah, it's so hard to analyze it when you're not there and when you're not doing it yourself, because you don't know what they see, and you don't know what they see, who's been playing well in training or that. So from the fans' perspective, it was a very, very good substitute because we won the game and he played it well. You know what I mean? But yeah, I agree. I thought it was a good all-round day for everybody yesterday.
Yeah. Chris Wright, how about that result? Every week seems different. It could be much more different from 7 days ago. He thinks Wiles and Rathbone ran it. I had a quick look at our away form in League One, Danny, and it's very, very good. We've only had 60 defeats in the last 22 away games in League One. we don't want to be relying on that. We've got to sort out our home form. Obviously, that's a really obvious thing to say because that is a problem or has been a problem. But if you can pick up these results and get these results, and the way game we lost this season to Wigan, we were very unlucky to lose. We should have won that game, 90 whatever minute equaliser. Winning away from home, I think John Bricking was saying in commentary last season, away form gets you promoted. And if we keep going this way, it will get us, if not promoted, very close.
Yeah, and like you say, I think home form is not really an issue, but it needs to be improved on, I think. But I suppose that comes down to mentality as well. Like, I'm sure our squad's more up for an away game because we're up against it, like both fan-wise and and pressure-wise. You know, like going to somewhere like where Bolton, where they've vastly outnumbered us, and get a result out of it. Whereas at home, teams want to come to us and beat us at home. You know, like with Fleetwood, they wanted to come and beat us because that's a big achievement for them in this division. Because no matter how you look at it, we are one of the big cheeses in this league. Not money-wise, but form-wise and performance-wise and target-wise as well in terms of getting promoted again. But yeah, I think, like you say, with John Breckin, away wins get you promoted, but we need to sort out home wins to cement promotion, I think. And I'm sure Warney will have words for the Crew game on Saturday to try and improve home form. And it'll click. It will. I'm fully confident it will click, and we will go on some sort of run at some point. Like I said a bit ago, someone is due a pasting, and I think it will come at home. Because as soon as we find a feat at home, we're off, I think.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. It just needs that something clicking at home. It hasn't clicked for a while. Ignore last season because of what we know happened, but even the time before in League One, it wasn't right at home. So we've got to make sure that sorts it out. And like I said, I'm sure it will. Let's move further forward, Mick. Let's go strikers. First time we've seen Smith and Grigg together. We were all very, very excited to see them together because on paper, that's a perfect matchup. Didn't get the goals that we wanted, although Michael Smith was very, very unlucky. But they did link up pretty well. Will Grigg was heavily involved in the first goal in the penalty box before it came out to Wiles. It's a good foundation. It's a foundation of moving forward for those two.
Yeah, they're going to take a few games to bed in together, aren't they? But both Smithy and Grigg were involved in that first goal, you know, in the build-up to it. So, yeah, I was impressed with Will Grigg. I was hugely impressed with his work rate for a big name, if you like, which is essentially what he is at this level. His work rate is fantastic. You know, his tracking back is excellent. His ability, his work in the press is really, really good. The rest of it will come. The rest of it, in terms of him putting the ball in the back of the net, will come. There's no question about that. It's just they need a bit of time to just build a relationship between him and Smithy. And once they've got that, like I said in the preview game, you know, that has the potential to be an absolutely devastating partnership. But I was really impressed with both of them, despite the fact, like you said, neither of them got on the score sheet. They did a lot. They did enough to keep their places by a country mile for the next game for me.
What are your thoughts, Will, on Grigg? On Will Grigg? He sort of still looks like he's getting used to playing first team football again a little bit, but still positives there, plenty of positives.
Yeah, I mean, for me, you can see his hunger. You can see that there's a little bit of him that wants to prove a lot of people wrong with what's happened in the past. You can see that in the way that he presses, and I think there's certain other strikers at the club that could learn a lot from him. Not only from that, but also his movement as well. I don't think we probably saw enough of that because we didn't create in the way that we normally do on Saturday. But as Mick rightly said, we'll create a lot of chances in this league, and Will Grigg will be at the forefront of the goals that we score, without doubt, for me.
The late substitute, Danny, which I want to make another final one I mention, is bringing Kieran Sadley on for Will Grigg towards the end. It would have been very easy for Warney to bring Coyote on. And to be fair to Coyote would have had a claim for that. But again, it was a very, very sensible substitution. It got extra body in midfield if we need it, but you don't lose that attacking threat. And we know how good Sadler is in midfield. Again, for me, it's hats off to another really good substitution.
Do we know how good he is? Have I missed something?
The times he's played in the centre, he's played pretty well, to be fair.
How many times? If he's played more than 5 times in the centre, I'd be surprised.
But when he's played in the centre,
Yeah, but if he's played 2 games, it seems. I see what you're trying to say, but I'm just saying I haven't seen him play well. I'm just handing that like that.
He's definitely more of a in behind the striker sort of midfielder, because at least for us anyway, because he does seem to struggle out wide. He's not as quick as we want him to be out wide, and he's not as defensive as we want him to be. But yet, like you say, bringing him on for Grigg was sensible, because leaving Smith up top is sensible because it's Michael Smith. And like you say, it's another body in midfield, but it also gave Ball a chance to play his first 90 minutes for us, which is good for him, because in his last games, he's always looked like he's been blowing about 70 minutes. Like we saw that against Doncaster in the trophy, and against Lincoln, he was blowing towards 70 minutes. But for him to get a full 90 under his belt is really good for him. And I'll be interested to hear Mikel Miller's thoughts, because I don't know if he'll get his shirt back straight away now that he's free of suspension.
you know what? I'd not even thought of that. But that's a very good point. He's going to find himself exactly the same as last season, where he came in and played pretty well, and then for almost no fault of his own, he's going to find himself out of the team.
This is not through any fault of his own. No, we're not doing this. You just said it's through no fault of his own. That red card's the stupidest thing I've ever seen done on a football field.
What I mean,
it depends what type.
I've got to be careful what I say around you, Anna. It's no fault of his performance. It's no fault of his performances.
No.
Right?
Yeah. Through his own stupidity.
Jesus.
But isn't that whole situation, a massive positive for us? Because, as you mentioned, Miller might not get his place back. We've got Shane Ferguson, who's been out injured, an international that might not get his shirt back either. So the competition for places is incredible. I mean, Wiles has proven on the weekend that, the rotation sometimes might not be a bad thing. And he came in and he had a point to prove, and he proved it. And I'm sure when Jamie Lindsay and Adoffin get the chance as well, they'll be chomping at the bit. So we've got a really strong League One squad, and that's got to excite everyone, surely.
Yeah. Absolutely. Wes Harding came on at half-time. Before we sort of go on to the overall scheme of things, Wes Harding came on at half-time and showed that although Chio will start 95% of the time on the right-hand side, we've got a really good option there. In situations like that, where we can just stick with Wes Harding there, and he does a superb job for us in that position. He doesn't slot in. I don't know what I'm trying to say. You're excellent, but Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. We know what Wes Harding's capable of, don't we? He has played right wing back when Chio were out for most of last season and played it really, really well. He's a lot more defensive than Chio, obviously, and he's not got that pace. But bringing him on yesterday was a fantastic substitution, really. We just needed to calm it down a little bit. But I love Wes Harding. What a player he is. My player of the season last season for me. I don't know. There's not a lot else you can say about him, is there? You know what you're going to get from him. He had a little bit of a brain fart, didn't he, against Fleetwood for that first goal. But other than that, no, he's quality, absolute quality, that man. Yeah.
Chris Wright agrees with Danny. Let's get our home form sorted, and then we sit great in the league. Absolutely. Recap the week a little bit, Will. After the Fleetwood game, it was doom and gloom. It was a poor performance. It was difficult to put your finger on exactly why. If somebody offered you 4 points on Tuesday morning after these 2 games, I imagine you'd took it.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really important, especially in this league. There's always going to be ups and downs and twists and turns. So it's important that, when you do get beat, because it does come, to make sure that the lows are not so low, but also the highs aren't so high. So we've beaten a very, very good side in Bolton on Saturday, and a great point on Tuesday against Lincoln. Crewe will be difficult on Saturday. They've got their own strengths, and of course Wimbledon have had an unbelievable start to the season as well. So no easy games in League One, but we're trending the right way, and that's really pleasing for me.
And it's still early days. Then you look at yesterday, Wednesday, drew against Shrewsbury. Shrewsbury had a very, very poor start. Shrewsbury picked up a good point. Seen a lot of fuss from Wednesday fans yesterday.
Apparently the game was awful. That's what I've heard.
But it happens like that. How many times, last time in League One, did teams come to us like Shrewsbury, maybe even Shrewsbury, Wimbledon last time out, MK Dons, Tranmere? They're going to come and make the game terrible. And you've got to find a way around it. And this is the point that it's going to be tough. It's not. We're not going to win every single game or go unbeaten. We're going to lose some games against teams we consider crap, but they're going to come and do a job on us, and vice versa.
Yeah, I think it again comes down to that mentality of they're trying to get bare minimum a point out of a game because we're one of the big cheeses in this division, like I've said before. But yeah, that's what makes this league really difficult for us. Like, we have performed very well over our previous seasons in this division, but teams know that. So they want to come out and go, right, let's try and upset them, upset how they play, dig in a little bit and try and scrounge a point out of it. And if we score first, sit back and try and hold out for a win. That's just how teams who have been in this division for a little bit try and play against teams who are looking to get out of it straight away. Like with Shrewsbury against Sheff Wednesday, they got their equaliser and dug in and made the game crap because they wanted a bare minimum point out of it. And again, Fleetwood tried to do that with us, and then as soon as they scored that wonder free kick to make it 3-2, they went, you know what, let's crack on and try and score another one, and they did, and we had no response to it. And I said this on the Crew podcast that I was invited on, which should be out on Wednesday if anyone fancies it.
Is it the Railway Men podcast? Is it?
Yeah, the Railway Men podcast.
Railway.
Yeah, that's what we call the Railway Men.
I think.
What is it? What?
Railway. If you ever watched Thomas the Tank Engine, you'll know they send engines to Crew to fix them.
So,
sorry to interrupt you there.
Railway.
No, it's all right.
Railway Men.
Yeah, they were formed by railway workers, man.
I've got to go.
Oh,
okay.
Right.
Thanks, pleasure, man.
See ya.
It's all right.
All right.
In a bit.
That's a little cameo there.
Yeah. But with Crew, they'll be similar to Fleetwood. They'll try and dig in a little bit against us. But if we, again, it all comes down to mentality. If we take the mentality from Bolton and go, we need to perform like that again, don't matter who it is, if we perform like that, we'll probably win. That should carry us over the line. If we look at the game and go, oh, it's just Crew, you know, did they come up last season or season before?
I think it was season before.
Yeah, season before. So we could, if we go with the mentality of, they're quite new to this division, you know, we'll easily beat them. We'll lose 100%. And again, if we allow them to score first, we'll probably lose because every time we've conceded first, we've lost. But if we go in with the mentality of don't underestimate them, treat them like the Bolton, and go from there, then, you know, anything could happen, really.
Yeah. Probably the final point I have to touch on yesterday before anybody else wants to chip in any thoughts or questions as well is the Richie Barker upsetting in Everett, which I'm all aboard that train for upsetting.
What is he on that Ian Everett? I mean, he's trotting out the same garbage that everybody else trots out as well, isn't it? About Rotherham being a big physical side and all this.
He didn't mean it disrespectfully, though. He said,
I don't disrespectfully or otherwise. Were we more aggressive than they were? No, not really. Were we? You know, it's just nonsense. These people, they just, I don't know. The thing is, you listen to Paul Warne in a press conference, on the radio, wherever, you know, you get his personality, you get the truth. You don't get some nonsense that's been written for him by a press officer somewhere. You get what you get from Paul Warne. And it's just bizarre, man, honestly. Absolutely bizarre. But, you know, I don't know. Garbage, Mr. Everett. Absolute garbage, mate.
The thing is, you know, there will be teams that are physical, and apparently we are this massive physical side that no one can break. But, you know, every team's got to try and find their own way of winning. So, you know, if we're big and physical, find a way to beat that. If you know what the issues are. So, yeah, I don't really understand the comment, but, you know, he's entitled to his own opinion, and we'll leave it at that, I think.
I suspect that's exactly the point, Will. I suspect the point is he doesn't know what the issue is. They do. The managers like that really don't know how to play against the system that we employ. It's not that we're a big physical bully inside. That's not what we do. But we are strong. We're strong in the air. I don't know what it is. But I'm not a football manager, so I don't have to work it out, do I? But Ever to whatever his name is, and other managers in this division, that's their job. They have to work it out, and you can't just go moaning afterwards and say, "Oh, the big strong bullies." You've got a job to do and do it. Just get on with it and stop moaning about it.
It annoys you then?
Yeah, I suppose it does really. Yeah, I suppose it pushes my buttons a bit. Yeah, it's not like there's not many things that do, is there?
As much as refs, Mick.
Well, I mean, we can talk about that if you want. Yesterday, we're all right, weren't we? Wednesday night, which I'm sure after the match you'll have been moaning like rest at Wednesday night. So how crap Barry Bannon were yesterday.
They were, yeah.
Unbelievable, Jeff. Unbelievable. There's a place on our bench for him. I've said that before. So, don't want him. But yeah, I mean...
Thoughts on the ref, Danny? Inconsistent. Very inconsistent.
Yeah, I mean... It was strange because there were some times that he gave soft challenges that, like I said, that were too soft, and then other times there were challenges that were quite hard that you thought deserved a bit of attention, and then there were other times where he's booked him for what he booked someone for taking a free kick too quickly.
He did, yeah.
Like, no, excuse me if I'm wrong. Yeah, that's not a bookable offence. Taking a free kick quickly. You just bring the ball back and say carry on.
It's one of those that technically, if you restart the game without referee permission, is a bookable offence. You shouldn't really do it. There's no need to do it. But if you're going by the letter of the law, you can book somebody for it. But you don't really want. I know they're playing, but you don't really want to see that. No,
and I mean, someone who sticks to the letter of the law is a bit dodgy. There's windows of opportunity for everything, and you don't see players booked for taking a free kick too quickly in the Premier League, and they are probably more inclined to pick to the letter of the law because Big Brother's always watching with VAR. But yeah, it's like there were some challenges on Chio and Boller that you thought that could have been a free kick, but then Bolton's gone up the other end. Someone's fallen over and he's given him a yellow card, and off he goes, it's a free kick. But yeah, I'd say inconsistent, but not as inconsistent as some refs we've seen already this season. He's not the worst, but he's not the best either.
No, I know that's true.
Bang average, really.
Bang average.
Bang average.
Do you think we'll ever see a referee give Michael Smith the amount of fouls he actually deserves, or is it just a hope?
I mean,
that's a difficult question, isn't it? I mean, probably not, if I'm completely honest. I wouldn't ever question the integrity of a referee. So, it's worth pointing out, it's all in jest that this guy's a Wednesday fan, but
yeah, absolutely,
he's at the level for a reason. So just to whack that out there before. I'll
take it on Chimwell. Don't worry, I'll take it, mate. I'll take being sued or fined or whatever. I don't care.
I mean, Smudge gets a rough deal, but that's because he's so strong. Same with Woody, I think, sometimes. It is what it is. We've just got to accept it and crack on.
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever any question about referees and integrity. I don't think there is ever. Genuinely.
Ever?
Yeah. No, ever. I would never, ever question their integrity whatsoever. Competence, regularly, I would question. But certainly not integrity. I wouldn't. Definitely not.
I seem to recall a question when Keith Stroud was manager of refereeing his hometown team.
Interesting that. Interesting you should say that. He's refereed him again this season and they've won again.
There.
Just saying. Okay. Hey, listen, I think it's now 11 times that he's refereed Bournemouth and they've won 9 of them and drawn the other 2. Why is he refereeing Bournemouth? Anyway, it's not a Bournemouth podcast, but,
Mixed conspiracy of the week.
Owen Bill, you can see the ref was wrong when they threw Smudge to the floor and they get a foul themselves. Yeah, that was going to be my next point as well. Yeah, but it's not just this game, is it? How many times we've seen him getting shirt ragged off his back and then he goes all the way? Happens all the time. Bless him.
Who were it against? Were it against Chef Wednesday when he had his shirt on and he was sent off?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was puzzling, that, wasn't it? Like he's come off worse and he's been sent off. No wonder it got rescinded.
I can see how strikers get frustrated. In the past, strikers get really frustrated and do something stupid. Sorry, and get themselves sent off. He's never really done that. He must be the nicest guy in the world because he never seems to lose his rag and do something daft.
I can't understand it. I can't. And I mean, it goes back to the question we took when Woody came on and we talked about the Barnsley incident with Woody, and he explained how
they
were
trying to speak to the referee.
Yeah. I was trying to gloss over that bit, but they try and talk to the referee and ask him why he's given this, why he's given that. But then if you're Michael Smith and you're getting pulled all over the place, picked up, thrown on floor, there were a penalty yesterday. A foul on Michael Smith, clear, absolute, no question, stonewall penalty, and the referee's not given it, and yet 2 minutes later, Smith backs into defender, going for a high ball, and he's given a free kick. And there's little, if no contact, and if whatever contact there is, it's the defender on Smith. It's what we just talked about there. Complete inconsistency. If it's a foul in the box, it's a foul outside the box, and vice versa. But anyway, we could go on for years about it, couldn't we? And it's utterly pointless. So. But Smithy, I don't know how he deals with it. Genuinely don't know how he deals with it.
I mean, some things go against you, don't they? But also some things do go for you. So, for example, Bolton's disallowed goal. I haven't seen it back, but I would imagine it's probably quite close to being onside. So maybe we've got away with one there.
Yeah.
He did look offside.
You look last week with a penalty as well, don't you? We have got some decisions this season. To be fair,
we have. Yeah.
Penalty. I know we missed the penalty. We'll go back to that as well. So, yeah,
never a penalty, was it?
No. I think I ticked off everything. We still haven't scored in front of our own fans this season, which is a weird little nugget. Which is, I'm sure, obviously going to change, but it's just one of those things that football throws up. Any other players anyone wants to mention, or incidents or topics that you want to mention before we crack on? Leave.
I just want to say something else about Ollie Rathbone, which was like,
go on.
There was a moment in the game where he was banging line with my line of sight, and I think it was Bolton's number 5 had the ball, and he just had that look on his face that it was going to go straight through him, like he was going to freight train him, and I was stood next to a couple of mates, and they went, "He's going to have him. He's going to break somewhere here," and then he just pulls out of it, and then defender messes up his pass. And to have a player who's not afraid to just charge at someone, to just allow them to make their own mistake, I think is another attribute that the Rathbone's got. It's almost Frecklington-esque, that ability just to run at a player and make him think you're going to clatter him, so he plays a pass quickly, but then it wins possession for your team at the same time. That's a very intelligent way to play football. And all right, fair enough, it might end up clattering someone at some point this season, but to see he's got that desire and that hunger to win the ball at any point in the game, and like Will says, he covered every blade of grass. So, fair play to him. To say we got him for under 300k, that is a steal this season.
Yeah, and the man we paid for 300k for can't get in because of people like him. I don't think. Yeah. The Saturday's not made the midfield questions anymore any easier for Warney.
No, it's made it more difficult, hasn't it?
Yeah, he's rested Lindsay. The guys that came in played even better. So, injuries permitting, it's going to be an interesting one.
I'd love to be on the wall in that office. That'd be so entertaining. Him and Richie and Matt arguing over it.
It would, absolutely. So there we go. That is our episode. Thank you all for watching it on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and like the video. If you're on iTunes, again, subscribe and give us a 5-star rating if you can. We will be back on Friday where we look ahead to Crewe Alexandra. Got a little almost double header. Crewe Alexandra and Wimbledon, both at home Saturday, Tuesday. If we come out of there with 4 to 6 points again, we're going to be looking really pretty. That's going to put us in a really, really, really good position. So we will preview those as and when they come up throughout the week. So thank you all for listening. Mick, thanks for being here. It's a pleasure.
No, either. Anytime, mate.
You don't seem to upset their fans. So that's...
Say again, sorry?
You don't seem to... I don't think you've upset their fans. If even ever listens, you will have upset him, I think. But other than that, you'll be fine.
Yeah, whatever. He needs to start thinking for himself, doesn't he?
All right, okay.
Say what you see, mate. instead of making it up.
Yeah, fair enough. Danny, it's always a pleasure to have you with me, mate. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's been great. This first live show with the four of us. It's been very good.
We're doing more of these as well. We'll probably do the Sunday night ones on a regular basis live. If people like them. If you don't like them, we'll not do them. We'll try and get a few more episodes. We'll try and get some more stuff done. Because we always enjoy them. They're a good laugh. We get live comments and we like hearing from everybody, which fans show. We want to hear from the fans and the fans' questions and talk about the fans. So, and if you are a fan of Rotherham United, get on to Volley View as well, where Will Daniels will go through all sorts of Rotherham United stuff as we've done tonight. Thank you for joining us again, Will.
Thank you very much. Loved it.
And yeah, like I said, we'll be back on Friday morning, if not sooner. Keep an eye on the socials because we are back soon. We'll let you know. But Friday morning is the next scheduled episode. So thank you very much, and we'll see you soon. Thank you very much.
Freddie's on one-on-one. Can Freddie finish shoot? Can they go shot? Yeah!